And so it was really interesting for me that, that Mona came in with this, wanting to explore how could she understand her frustration, so that it's like to make sure that either that it wouldn't get repeated, or that it didn't take over. Yeah, she didn't want to have to even have the trigger anymore. And if that's not wanting to be the change, then I don't know what would be. Put it that way.
No, all of that brilliance was just on mute.
Could you summarize it, please?
I have really enjoyed this session today, and you guys have been pretty essential in being patient and helping me kind of sort this out. And thanks for not taking offense to my generalization about men.
Oh, and I think we need to. I really think we need to, and I think we need to point. We need to point it right at the women too. Like, and I think that's what it becomes to, because when we can see it in ourselves, right, we can forgive it as well. And relationships are so built on blaming each other. It's like there's just way too much weight on it. Blame and judging, it's just it's there, like it could be so much better. I'm still trying to figure that out myself. Yeah. So like, but yeah, so Mona is like was like, what was it for you? Like I didn't, like, it seemed like the hot seat you like it turned into the hot seat, and I thank you for that. And you might not be at a space where you can speak, and that's perfect. Oh, it was such a great demonstration.
It really was.
Yeah, that was really good.
Well, when you get in the Chris's program and you realize how much of your life is your choices, it really makes you stop and think about what's your next choice. And is it going to benefit anybody?
Yeah. Well, and it's like our choice benefits us. But what we become aware of is like, oh, we can choose something else and get a better benefit.
That's a really good way of putting it, Chase.
All what we can do is to do the best we can do in every moment, and what we plant in the moment, we will harvest in the future.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that Mona didn't generalize between men and women. I experienced the same with my daughter and my ex. Why they keep doing this? Yeah, repeating what we tell them not to do. And thing is this lack of self confidence, or maybe why my for example, why my daughter, she keep uh, you know doing the same mistake.
The hurt is greater.
Mm.
Opening
Mm.
up the hurt, like seeing it and like seeing it for what it is harder. It hurts more because of that, because that wound is real.
Mm.
That's what we believe anyway. And what the thing is, it's not true, but we have to be willing to look at that pain again. And we can't, like, people have to do it for themselves.
Yeah, sometimes it really hurts, to clean the wound.
That's right.
We have to do it. Yeah.
And so let's look at the dynamic here, right? It's like this package comes, this person is doing something very thoughtful and kind, like to compassionately for Mona, gives it to Mona. Mona is now angry at this person for doing this. So this one person was trying to give love and got anger in return, which was probably their pattern as a child anyway. And Mona was like, getting love and was frustrated with it.
Mm.
Now, this may not be a like legal, like a marriage, but it is a relationship. It may not be a dating relationship, but it's still like friends are relationships.
Absolutely.
And so it doesn't matter the role that people are. It's like our automatic patterns that we just attract to. Sorry, it's our automatic patterns that attract others too. And so the person that's giving love, is now frustrated because Mona couldn't accept their love. Like, do you see all the messages that are going on in between that we don't even see?
And there's an initial message that I'm very aware of, Jesse. And that initial message for me is that she had asked, please don't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then when it happened, her trigger was because she had asked, please don't. So what was the patterning for her in her childhood when she had asked, please don't?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's what happens with our triggers. When there's still a residue, or when it's right in the beginning, is that we focus on the trigger instead of being able to be fully present in the situation that is now as an adult, but that part of us is still behaving like the child.
Yeah.
And as Annette said the other day, we can do this reconceptualization in our minds, but the body holds it until we sit with it. And we often have to do that over many years.
I believe in all relationships. It takes mutual respect, in order to get along. When or else it would be an endless cycle of breaking each other's trust, respect.
Yes, and yet it's more of a hierarchy than a partnership.
Mm. Yeah, the relationship of father and daughter. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, definitely one who's telling, right, what to do, what not to do, huh?
Mm.
And yeah, and we take those structures with us because they're familiar. We know nothing else, right? So we take our structure with us, and we do it. It's like, if you think about it, we talk about awareness. You might be aware of 0.1%, maybe. So, but what we're aware of, if we're aware of the 0.1%, is we're changing the 99.98%, 99.99. Sorry, can't even do math. 99.99%. That's what we're changing when we're doing it, like with the feeling.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad Mona brought this um, subject to the. Maybe I'm doing something that my daughter say no to too.
Yes. That's the treasure hunt.
Mm.
Not to go digging for it, yeah, but just to be waiting for the potential, for the opportunity. And in our waiting, right, is we see how it is, right? We just see it for what it is. And then we ask, how could it be? How could it be? Now, this is important, the could is planting seeds of all the potential that it could be, is you're giving it to your energy. You're locating it out in the future, playing the instrument that says, this is what I want. Because it's in with this feeling, it's connected, it's entangled with the feeling. So the coulds are just as important.
Yes.
Because eventually all those coulds are going to turn, like those are the roots of the tree. Because eventually you will arrive there.
Wow. I love it. Wow.
I mean, if we're, yeah. I mean, I don't think you just find your true love and then it's over.
Nope.
As much as Disney wants to tell us,
Mm.
or Hollywood, even Hollywood wants to tell us that, no, once you do this, then you're live happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as long as you're good enough.
Mm.
Or whatever your pattern is.
Mm. It's all evolution.
That's right. That we've slowed down for some reason.
Yep.
And all evolution
Wow,
comes
Jesse,
from
you're a
experience.
master of this field, really. Mm.
Thank you, Chi. I'm sorry, Heinz.
All evolution comes from experiences. So
Yeah.
the other person has to experience it for themselves to actually have the wisdom of knowing why you said no. But we want to spare our children for getting the experience themselves because we tried it and it wasn't very much fun.
It all comes down to our relationship to ourselves. You know, if we doubt ourselves, we will doubt the world.
Yeah. In here to out there. Yeah.
Mm.
And I mean, that's the only place authenticity comes from, is in here. It's in here as we learn to look for it. We find it in the silence. We help each other find our limits, our no's, our charges, so that we can drop them.
Yes.
Because we used to just accumulate them, thinking that was dealing with them and putting them away, and it wasn't. It's just a huge baggage that finally broke.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for everything that you do, Jesse. Really, wow. You're giving it to us and to the rest of the world on, on a silver plate.
It's like we are. That's what's great, is we are. It's not just one.
No, but you're such a great conductor. You know, and I'm learning. I'm learning really from day to day. You know, just by observing, the way you unfold it. And, wow.
Thank you for recognizing that. It's honor. It's an honor. It's an honor to be learn from, to be, and to learn and to teach learning. Yeah. So so likewise, she is like, you're conducting, like when you conducted with Heinz, I was in awe.
Really?
Yes.
I'm picking up from all you guys, but mostly from you and Allison. And,
Yeah. And it's like, yes. It's like, and you and Heinz have other conversations, right? And it's like, so it's like, I know you guys are doing that with each other.
Yeah. We have our morning fireside, and this is our second fireside
Yeah.
during the day. Yeah.
I know. I love it,
This is just an expansion, of what we did. Yeah.
It is, and that adds a stronger flame.
Yeah.
Everything's connected or it's not. Just depends on how you see it.
It's funny, it looks so simple when you do it, but but you're really dropping a lot of great stuff, all the way.
And I love doing the opposite of the automatics. When I want to, yes. When it's appropriate, when it's fun. Only when it's fun. Or if there's rules to break. If there's rules to break, like count me in.
You definitely got a lot of tools.
All built on other people's tools.
That's how it works, though, right?
Yep. It works a whole lot faster when we share it like that.
Yes.
Yep.
Rather than hoarding it and charging for it. There's a space for it. There's a space for it, but it's once we're aligned with ourselves, then we charge.
Yes.
Like once you're through the door, that's when that's where the value's at.
Well put.
So let's help them get through the door, and when people that are coming through the door, is we give them what to do next.
Wow. I love it. So simple yet so profound. Yeah.
Right, and that's like people I learn from sit in a position as like they can't learn from me. So their model doesn't get any better.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem with a king. Because they build a kingdom and they don't listen to their followers. And when their followers begin to get frustrated, they begin to leave and go look for something else.
So true. Yeah. Yeah. I can see my relationship with
a one-sided conversation.
It's a one-sided conversation, yeah. And it's a waste.
It's a waste of potential, eh?
For the sake of greed.
Yeah, exactly.
As a leader, our job is really to take care of our followers.
It is. Follow through on our promises.
Yes.
Ensure that if you're going to charge 20 grand, you ensure it's done.
Yeah.
You don't just blame it on the followers because your work is so good or so far ahead that no one can keep up.
Yeah.
I'm off my box.
Yeah.
That was good. It totally changed my perspective, in my relationship with my kids.
Well,
Wow.
please tell me more.
That's amazing,
But,
Chi.
yeah, it's not about picking on them, or it's about covering their nakedness,
It's about giving them the awareness themselves.
And how do we best do that, Heinz?
Oh, great question. If I knew, I would do it. If I knew it, I would do it.
Well,
You're getting there.
absolutely.
That
Yeah.
part takes two. Unfortunately, I can't do it alone.
None of us can do it alone. None of us. Although maybe there's 1% of the world that can. I don't want to shut down all possibilities, right? But you must remember we were given mirror neurons for a very, very good reason. We're supposed to amplify one another. Our structure is supposed to be open. Well, it is open, put it that way. We're built as an open structure.
Oh, and the machines want to take it.
Mm.
That depends on how we work with the machines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which depends on how we work with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
100%.
Because we started working differently as soon as the steam was invented, like the steam power was invented. We started working differently with ourselves.
Yeah.
And nature. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it really wasn't. But we also haven't existed all that long.
Me or human beings?
Mm-hmm.
Human beings.
That's where I went to, but I just wanted to make, like, some may not have thought that.
Yeah. It's a very good distinction, Jess.
Right, they traced. I don't know if you've seen it, but they traced back the potential to an egg into a multi-celled organism.
How long?
But like 3 billion years ago.
Yeah. That was God. I can hardly even conceptualize a billion.
Right. I mean, and it's like in a billion years we came from a. Well, it was like when we moved from a single-celled organism to a multi-celled organism. Like they say, it took 10 times the energy to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you think about how easy it was just to sit as a single-celled organism, it's like, yeah, we're just going to hang out here forever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then some breakthrough happened, right? And poof, evolution, poof, into a multi-cell, right? And then another 3 billion years later, here we are.
And And then we think that we have to have more than what we have. So weird, eh?
No, somebody
What we're
thought
doing
that.
here,
Somebody thought that.
how can we prove that we aren't becoming more than we are? We only have 50 to 100 years to prove it. Out of what? Out of billions. What is that? That's just a
That's right. Just,
in
just
the ocean. It's just a drop in the ocean. Our time.
a grain. It's a grain of sand.
Yeah. And the picture is a mountain.
Yeah, it's all the sand that we know on Earth, and we're one grain of it. And by the way, that's how many neurons we have in our brain, and how many we use is about as much as on the beach that
Yeah.
you can see.
We are
Not
part
very
of something bigger. So we are one grain of sand in an ocean of sand.
Mm.
in a universe.
Mm.
But as we practice this, we are expanding our grain.
Yeah.
It may not be possible to even see it during our lifetime. Maybe not even our children's or our children's children. But
Mm-hmm.
the evolution we're doing will come forward because energy can't disappear, it just transforms. So when it's time to move on, we transform into a new energy, but the energy would still be the same as what we have raised the frequency to.
That's the best one I got, and I'm going to keep going with that one.
Mm.
And we do the best we know at the moment.
And yeah, and Heinz, I could take the position to disagree with you just as easily as I could to agree with you.
Yep, that's where we get two different evolutions then.
Yeah. It's like, why is our automatic to look at the differences?
Mm.
Yeah, we could look at the similarities instead.
Exactly. It's like, well, I wonder why that one didn't develop.
Didn't get enough sunlight. More water. Just add water.
Yeah.
Just add water. I've seen that on a lot of products, so I think that's what's needed. Just add water.
and then you think back of what it took for us to get a stable supply of food.
Mm.
Mm.
And that's why. Our survival depended on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other explanation why our automatics are there. There's no other reason to understand. There's no further reason to know. So what am I aware of? I'm aware of what is safe and what is not when I listen to you. I'm not repeating the words in my head of the details you tell. Do you think I need to do you think I need to know your details? At certain points, like, I was like, so if we go back to like with Mona, is like, as soon as Mona asked the question, I had my answer. I said that, right? It was like, I was waiting for everyone else to like give theirs because I didn't want to hog it, but I ended up hogging it anyway, right?
Did you hog it or did you lead it, Jess?
It all depends on whose perspective. I just looking for validation of which one, the listeners thought I was doing. So So just structure it the way structure it so you get the answer you want. I mean, so thank you, Allison, for allowing yourself to be manipulated. But he like manipulated with free choice.
Mm-hmm.
That
choices would be easier if you told us what you really wanted us to say.
And I would rob you of the experience, and I'd have to charge you money for that.
Oh.
I don't want to be like everyone else. I don't want to like have to go through that fakeness that I hear everyone else going through. And not everyone. I don't mean like everyone's not a Brit, but I can whatever. This just doesn't make me right, But because I got my own shit too. Let's be clear with that. Nobody's life is nirvana. Maybe it is. It just gets, it just gets better.
Every person in the universe has an asshole. Every person must have personal shit. No way of avoiding that.
Thank you, Heinz, for that bit of wisdom there.
For me, write, it sounds almost like write. It takes time to write, to go from green, to different stages.
Are you guys familiar with the wisdom process? Like it's like discovering your wisdom. It's how to discover your wisdom. And you may not hold it but once I explain it to you or give you the structure, I think you'll say like, oh yes, that's how I use it. I use it this way, and maybe it improves, and maybe you can improve mine. But wisdom starts with, what is it? Like to see it for what it is. And usually it's the trigger. So Will, I ask like, okay, when you see the trigger, Will, what do you do with it? And with the trigger, it's to say, like, just look at it like, well, what is it? What is this trigger? And you look at like what's happening in it. It's like the wobble. That's what we call the wobble. It's like we're looking at the wobble. What is the wobble? And then usually like if we can put a name to it, then we've really like focused in on the wobble. And then this next step is to ask, what could it be? So we're moving from the,
wasn't it? One, what is it? Name it. Two, what could it be?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yep. So you're moving from the present, right? So you're focusing right in the present of what is this trigger, and then with the what could it be is you open to the future and roll out the red carpet and say, okay, what could it be? And then you listen for the yes and the no's. So you feel the yes and the no. And when that becomes your automatic, yeses are your truths, like that's your inner yes and no is your guiding truth. Sometimes you really get like, a lot of times, very rarely do I get it. Sorry. Look, I pay attention to the yeses and the nos. Like that's the point of it. But when I ask, like, which one do I want or what do I choose? And I'm looking for like, what do I do next? A lot of times I get a not yet. So like no answer, like it's not a no and it's not a yes, right? It's not clear yet. So like I say that with the emphasis, the importance on if you can learn your inner yes and no, it becomes a shortcut for everything. Listening, speaking, choosing, being, a whole lot less effort. Or AKA energy. Just think of all the energy that stress burns. Anxious, depressed, sad. We all got to experience them. That's the point. But not to wallow in them.
And then we start creating negative possibilities.
Yep, that is exactly. We do the same thing. Yep.
It's just looking at the wall, and that's all you're seeing, a wall, instead of you seeing possibility left or right. You can't move ahead forward. But the longer we look at the wall, we start to know, oh, look at that rock over there. Oh, what if?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And why I love one word, like if we can, when we can refine things into one word, we have to feel it. It forces us to feel it. Because if you think of like one word, it is so hard to describe something without the feeling. And that's what our ego does. So that's why we have so many more words to it, is because we put out what we want and then we give all the reasons why we're right, why we're justified, like to defend ourselves, right? Or protect ourselves. So like when Mona asked her question, right, gave her, and then like boom, went on. She right away was just telling us what she wanted, right? What it was. But and then the ego just kept justifying like her response to it. And she's like, I don't like it. I want a different response, but it's like I don't know, like I can't catch it. And it's like, yes, she is catching it. We just helped her catch a different level so she could go deeper into it. And that's why we have to experience these moments, these circumstances, so that we can go deeper. And that yes or no is my authenticity gauge. I was really working like, what do I listen for? Like when I'm listening, what am I listening for? And I think like what at the overarching is like between the lines, I'm listening for a yes or a no. I'm listening for and so then if I listen, so that's what I'm listening for between the lines. Like, is it a yes or is it a no? And what is a yes feels what? expansive.
Mm.
A yes feels positive.
Yes, yes.
A yes is open and flowing.
Wow.
No isn't a negative. Now, not always. No, I'm not. But it's like like no is a negative. Yeah. No closes, restricts, limits, shuts off.
So Jess, for me, when what I'm listening to, what you listen for, what I make up is you're listening for expansion or constriction.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you can get a constricted yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get an expansive no.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Joe.
Joe.
You're doing so beautifully, Jess and Elton. Such a beautiful dance, with wow.
Thank you,
Hey,
Chief.
Joe.
And so, yes, it's like, it's great. Allison is like listening for the expansion and the contraction of the words, of the sentences, of the phrases, of the speaker.
Yes.
And even when I'm speaking, like you'll hear me pause or stutter or rephrase it. I'm testing that expansive. I'm also testing my resistance. I'm also testing my yes, my no, my buts, right? My automatics. They're all wanting to come out. Or in today is a whole lot less than years ago.
All this practice, now expansion is just becoming automatic.
That's right. That's the whole aim. The whole aim is to remove, like, transform the restriction into expansion.
Love that.
That's transforming the restriction to a expansion. Like that is the purpose of Fireside. That's, well, I think that's the greatest hope we can be for humans.
Yes.
I think that's even the purpose of life.
I think so too. I didn't think that before.
Yeah.
And I didn't have it
Found
instantly. Once I saw it, it's like, yeah, it's a learned journey.
It's divine guidance, when we start an idea, it would turn out to something we can never imagine.
Yes.
Like a seed from an apple, it turns to an apple tree, and the beauty of it and the abundance of it and all of it, it's just something that evolves along the way. All it takes is an idea, intention.
And even before that is just an openness to receiving. We think we have to come up with everything ourselves.
Oh, that's why I say we're part of something much bigger than ourselves.
Yes.
And that is connected. That is the same. That's looking for the same, not the differences. We're trying to heal the differences.
Yes.
Differences
When we
are our
turn inward,
wounds.
yeah.
Sorry, Chi.
I was just saying that when we turn inwards, we get more connected. And when we turn more outward, we get more divided.
Mm-hmm.
That's so true. Oh, how about a recap for this morning? Two different videos, right? Earlier one that were Mona and her breakthrough, little slight breakthrough. And then we went into YouTube, then we went to live, and we talked about what we saw afterwards, like what we witnessed, what was experienced.
And then we talked about what we are and the wonder of life, going from a single soul to a multi-dimensional soul. And eventually to become human beings, or to become humans. The beingness was always there, which is life. And we spoke about expansion and contraction, connection and division or separation. And somewhere in between there was fun to be had.
So what would you want to scatter?
For me, I have many big wins today, but the two biggest wins I can take is what I learned from this group. What this group expanded is my awareness, I've learned to be a better listener. I'm not there yet, but I'm doing my best each time to be a better listener. That's really a big win for me.
I don't think I'll ever be there, Chi.
We're doing our best.
Yeah, just keep on expanding.
Better.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, it's the same with me, G.
That's a little where we just sit down and say, well, I'm perfect now.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist, eh?
Nope.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, Chi. That's the same as me. It's like being a better listener. That's really what I'm really working
I
on
feel
right now.
we're very much at the same level. You can hear your tone and your voice. There's a lot of similarity with me. And it's just, it's great to work alongside with you. Shoulder to shoulder.
Well, thank you. Yeah, you too, man. I'm learning a lot from you.
You too, brother.
People say they're perfect, then they can tell me the last number. Because you can always put a new number behind the next. There is no last, it's infinite.
I'm giggling because I just love how practical and pragmatic Heinz can be at times. I just love it. Heinz, I still giggle about your analogy once, and I really I can't remember what was it we were really talking about. Maybe it was about baggage, but what you said was, well, when you come home after doing grocery shopping, you have to put the grocery bags down before you can make supper. And it was so perfect. And
Yeah, imagine
that's,
going out shopping and you still have half a box of pepper and stuff in your hand
yeah, and that's
from the last
exactly,
time you went shopping.
Everything, everything in Heinz's life is about simplicity. You know, he lived by himself, just almost like a monk. You know,
yeah,
doing the same thing day after day.
yeah,
And, it takes work, you know, to be by yourself many
it
hours a
does.
day.
It
Yeah,
does.
yeah, it teaches us a lot, you know, by spending time alone. You know, and Heinz he doing that day after day.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I didn't get to learn that. The first 3 weeks, I remember when I moved to Aalborg, the first 3 weeks I thought, oh my God, I'm going crazy here.
Mm,
It's just me. First
mm,
time in my life I ever moved anywhere as just my decision, just doing it for myself.
mm,
Everything was all about that one thing, me. And
mm,
oh my God, I wasn't used to this. 48 years I've been used to asking other people, what do you think about this?
mm, mm, mm.
But we do better and better.
Exactly.
Yep, you're grown, brother, so much. Great to see.
This is what I really also love about this. It's getting lots of words that you can put to the emotion without attaching them, but there are still possibilities. So, you can't only do that, you can also do this, you can also do this. It gives way
Try
more
to
perspective.
Mm,
try to wear different words, you know. We don't have to
Yeah.
keep it on. Just try to wear it.
mm,
Yep.
mm.
See how
So
they
you can
fit.
see
And it fits great
everyone.
for today. Maybe tomorrow it won't fit.
Exactly.
Mm.
But that's tomorrow.
Mm,
Focusing on what fits right now.
mm. So my win for today was that definition that I got with Chi talking about respect. And it just in the context of us talking about how we conduct relationships. And so that new definition for me, or an added layer of respect, is not just that I have regard for the other, but that I am there fully present, fully present in that moment.
Mm.
Mhm.
Wow. I love it.
It felt good.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, all.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Beautiful
Bye.
day.
Thank
Great
you.
day.
You all have a pleasant day.
Have a great day,
Bye.
guys.
Wonderful day.
Mhm.